be sharing with you a tutorial on how to create this little ghost embellishment box that I shared with you in a previous video. This is the die set right here that I have used. It's the Ghost Mini Album die set from Scrap Diva Designs. If you are inspired to pick up this die set, make sure to take advantage of my code. It is Patty10 for 10% off at checkout. So let's get straight to the tutorial. Okay, so let's get started on our little tutorial. Let me move this. This is what we are going to be using. So this is what I have cut out. I have 3 of the stitched die. I cut 3 of these out, and then I cut 1 of the outside die out. That's going to be our the top of our box. And I also have, so it's 3 of these, 1 of these, and then I just took a letter size paper and cut some strips down. So these measure 1.5 by 11, and on the 1.5 inch side, I score these at 1/4. So at 1/4 inch, then I turn it around and I score it at 1/4 inch. And this is what it looks like. Then I take my scissors, and I'm using these I have to make tassels. That's what I originally purchased these for. If you don't have these, you can just use regular scissors. The only thing is that this just makes it faster because it's cutting 3 at a time. And so I cut those out up until that 1/4 inch score mark on both sides. And one side we're going to fold over just for support. The other side is what we're going to be using to adhere these strips to our ghostie and create our box. So I'm just going to fold over on these, and we will get started on the gluing process. So these are just folded over. This is going to be the top part, and this side right here is going to be the bottom part. And it doesn't really matter which side is what. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So I'm just folding on those little fringes. When you cut up your paper like this, you can make anything into a 3D project, because these little cuts allow your paper to be more pliable. Like you can mold it more to any shape that you need. And so that's the reasoning behind cutting those little slits, or those little, those teeny tiny little cuts in the paper allow for you to be able to move your paper however you need it. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we are going to start with the larger ghostie. I'm going to turn him around. So this little swirl right here is going to be on my left hand side, and it does matter because when you open your box, I mean, you want this to be on the right side. So I'll show you what I mean. So anyway, this is going to matter. Pay close attention to this. This is our larger ghostie. This is going to be the top of our box, and this piece right here that swirls out is to be on your left hand side. So then I am going to grab my strip of paper, and I'm going to start gluing on that side. So I'm just going to add my liquid glue, and I'm going to start right up at that corner and just line it up against the edge of my ghostie. And I'm using liquid glue so that I can have time to move it around and do all the things. And of course, you want to take your time with this. Make it, you know, it's handmade, so it's not going to be perfect, but you do want to make it as perfect as possible. So you're just going to line these up as best you can to the edge, right up to that edge, as close to the edge as possible. And that is what we have so far. And then we're just going to go all the way around this little line right here. And I'm not going to speed through it because I want to show you, you know, the process, but you can absolutely speed through this process. And I'm just adding glue to the sides, to the edge, I'm sorry, to the edge, and molding my paper to fit that edge. I haven't done this on black. I've only done it on pink, and I don't know how the glue is going to dry up, so that'll be interesting to see. This glue is supposed to dry clear, so hopefully it does what we need it to do. So then I'm going to add some more glue as I go, just a thin layer. You don't want to add too much. So just press as you go, and it will move on you because it's liquid glue, so you need to make sure to go back and see to make sure that the previous piece hasn't moved on you. So see, like right here it moved just a little bit, but because it's liquid glue you have a little bit of time to adjust, make some adjustments as needed. So this is what we have so far. That's what that's looking like, just like that. Excuse me. And then we're going to go on to this side right here. Okay, and then I am going to trim this right here. I'm going to cut around my ghostie and trim this corner piece off. Just like that. And so now I'm going to glue this piece down right here. And again, this is just for to give your box some support, because you're going to be opening and closing the box. You want this top part to be pretty sturdy and stiff. So this is just for that purpose. And I'm just gluing this down as I go. Because it's liquid glue, you do have to hold it for a little bit. And you'll do that all the way to the end. And you can actually do this ahead of time. Okay, so that is what we have so far. We just glued this edge down. That gives us a nice crisp look at the top, and then we adhered this piece. So now what we are going to do is we are going to grab another strip, and on this one I do have a 1/4 inch score mark on the 1.5 inch side, or I'm sorry, on the 11 inch side I scored at a 1/4 inch. So we've got 3 score marks, the 1/4 inch here, the 1/4 inch here, and then the 1/4 inch on this side. And what we're gonna do is create a little tab. So I'm gonna miter these corners right here. And this is what we have left. So it's just a little tab to adhere to this. I'm gonna fold down on these so that I can start to glue this. And at this little corner right here, my left-hand side, I'm going to adhere this tab. And I'm also going to add some glue to the bottom piece here, right at the corner, so that I can start to form this side of my ghostie, my ghost box. Okay, so that's what we have so far. And then I'm just going to go around the edge right here, adhering this piece on now as we go, adding some glue. So I just added some glue to the edge, and I'm going to start adhering my piece down. Again, just really taking my time and, you know, molding and going along the edge. Giving it a little time to dry and adhere the way I want it to without moving. So it is very easy, but you do want to take your time with it so that it looks good. Because it's handmade, you know, it's not going to be perfect, but you want it to be as perfect as possible. You want it to be seamless as possible. And you just continue doing that all the way around. Again, you can speed through this process, but for me, it's important to show you, you know, step by step, because I don't know, I just think that's the best way to learn by not skipping any steps. I really hope you guys give this a try. This little die set is just so cute. You can use it for so many things. You can make banners, you can make boxes, you can make mini albums, you can use it for, you know, what it was intended for, a mini album. So yeah, I mean, it's just a really great little die to have in your Halloween stash. And so now we just have this little piece here. We can use this. I'm going to create a little tab right here. Let me see. I didn't bring my score tool, but I'm just gonna make a little tab right there. Just eyeball it. You can score it at 1/4 inch if you'd like, but I'm just gonna eyeball it. Okay, so we have our tab right there. I'm gonna fold on that, and I'm gonna add some glue to this, and we're gonna adhere start at the bottom. Add a little bit of glue here at the corner. And line it up as best we can. Just like that. So that's what we have, and then I'll just start to adhere the side. So this little guy is going to be so cute, you guys. The previous one I made was a little girl ghosty, but now we're doing a little boy ghosty. I think that's going to be so cute. And so again, I'm just adding glue to the edge here, lining him up all the way to the edge. So this is what we have so far, just like that. So right here where we have this little overhang, I don't want that much of an overhang because I don't want it to be a tight fit. So I'm going to cut this down just a little bit. Let me show you what I'm doing. I'm just cutting this down so that I can take that piece off. We don't want that much extra. I'm going to add some glue all the way down and adhere this piece right here. Just like that. And now we have the top part of our box. I'm gonna go around and just glue these little fringes down all the way around, and I will be right back. Okay, you guys, so this is what we have. I went around and I adhered all that edge on the side. I have a little piece right here that didn't stick. Just add some glue to that. And that is going to be our top box. Now we're going to use one of these to create the bottom of our box. This one is the one that has the stitched detail on it. So that's going to be the bottom. So this one is going to be facing this way. This little tail is going to be to my right side, so that when I put this on here, you know, they are in the same direction. So we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to get our strip that measures 1.5 by 11. This one is scored just like the other one at 1/4 inch on both sides. And we are going to start to do the exact same thing. Form our box all the way around. I'm going to start right here on this corner and just make my way all the way around. Okay, so we have finished the bottom part of our box and the top part. Now we have these pieces right here that are also the that have the stitched detail. These are going to be our lining pieces. So what I'm going to do for this bottom one is trim this down, because these are the same size, so I need to trim this down, and I'm just going to go around on that stitch detail and just use that as my guide to trim this down. So I'll go all the way around, just right on that stitch detail. And this will become the lining of our bottom, the bottom piece of our box. So it's really just a sliver that you're trimming down. And again, it's right on that stitch mark. You're just using that stitch mark as your guide to trim it down. And that is going to go in here, and I'm just going to add a little bit of glue. You don't have to add too much, just so it'll stay in place. I've got a few pieces here that aren't sticking, so I'm going to add some glue. And that just hides that bottom seam all the way around and just gives it a really good look, a finished look. Now our top box, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to line it, but on this one I don't have to trim down that edge because the top of our box is a different size than this. Make sure to add the glue on the right side. pay attention to, you know, what side is going to go down. So for the top part, this little piece that goes to the left, remember that it goes to the left. So we have made our box, you guys, and it fits in just like so. And again, you know, it's not perfect because you have these little edges right here that don't fit snugly, these corner edges, but it looks really, really good. And you could easily tie this with a ribbon, you know, use some tulle. You can also use a punch. Let me show you how I do that part. Okay, so right here is about where I would grab this. I mean, just think of, you know, put your hand on it, see where you're grabbing it, and then you can cut your little notches. So I'm gonna do mine right here. I'm using this 1-inch circle punch, and I'm gonna go in just like so, lining it up just like that, and cutting my little notch. Then I'm gonna do this, come this way, and do the exact same thing, cut my little notch. Again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. We're just cutting our little notch. And now we're ready to embellish our box, you guys. We can, you know, add, for the top of our box, this stitched die right here is going to work really well to create our layering piece up here. So we're gonna cut this out of design paper. And then it will also work to cover the bottom piece. The only thing is that you're gonna have to, you know, adhere it on upside down. And then you can also just cut a strip of paper that is like 3/8 of an inch, so that it leaves a little border all the way around. And you can line the sides of your box as well. So I'm gonna speed that part up of me embellishing the box. And I will be right back. So before I start stitching on my paper and doing all of that, I did want to show you one more thing that I do to start lining my box. So this is the part that has the notches. I'm gonna line this up right here. I think that's about right. Add a little paper clip, and then, oops, I just hit my phone. And then I'm gonna circle this around this way, adding another paper clip right here. And that way I can see where to add my punch on the piece that's gonna be lined up. Right about there. Oops. We'll remove that. So see, I can see right through there where I need to add my punch. And we'll do the same thing on this side. See where I need to add my punch. And now I can do my stitching on my strip of paper. And earlier I said it measures 3/8. It's actually 7/8. I just went 1/8 of an inch down. And so here's my box. He's gonna be so cute, you guys. And then these are going to be my notches. And they'll just go all the way around like that. So now I can do some stitching and start to line my box. Finally, to create these little walls right here, I actually did mine really short, but I did like this measurement a little better because it'll go a little higher and make really clear walls. So this is what you would do. You're going to take a piece of paper that measures 2.5 by however many inches. It really just depends on how long you want your walls to be. You can cut this up into 6 compartments. You can make it just 2. So it just depends on you and how you want your little compartments. So it's 2.5 inches wide, and then again the length is up to you depending on what size of compartment you want. You're going to score this at 1/4 inch. So on this 2.5 inch side, you're going to score it at 1/4 inch, at 1 1/4, and at 2 1/4. You're going to glue this together. So I don't know, my glue is dry. So you're going to glue this together, and these little 1/4 inch tabs on the side are what you're going to glue to your base, just like that. And that's going to create your wall, your little divider. Again, the length will just depend on how you want your divider to be. So for example, here I have, you know, this one that goes down the center, and then it's actually 2 with 1 in the center. And then I have 1 over here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 compartments in my little embellishment box. So you can definitely make however many you want, which is so awesome about this little box because it's customizable, and you can, you know, customize it to fit whatever embellishments you decide you're going to include in here. And I just think it's really, really sweet, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know, you know, if you have any questions. I think it's just a really sweet die set to have in your stash, and you can, you know, create this style of embellishment box with any box or with any die set that you have. I have a gift box die set that is also from Scrap Diva Designs, and it is so super cute. I plan to create the same thing, a little embellishment box with that die set as well, so stay tuned for that. And you know, it's just a really fun technique that you can use to create little gift boxes. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.